Hello everyone, it's Sandro again. We're talking about Warmboard. This is probably our third segment. So coming from a builder perspective, installing it, so forth. So right now we've pretty much on the last routering part that we have to do. I just wanted to show you the templates that we have here. When initially it came with just one set of templates, which is a straight. We have a kind of a little bit of a squiggly line. I call it a little squiggly. And then two circles, one's an 8-inch and then a 12-inch. You can see where I had to modify this because there's certain areas where it becomes really hard to actually get the template to work unless you cut it, fit it around walls and so forth. So make sure you ask for another set of templates for it so you can make modifications to one and still have another set for you when you're out in the open spaces doing your routering. Okay, so this one here is our last one. The tip with the routering, I find, is that you have to line up your slots here really well, and then just keep your router depth on it. Just touches the bottom of the groove on the factory set depth here, and then just hold it nice and tight on the inside so it keeps one shape around, the same shape around here, because the collar on the router is just a little bit bigger than the slot that's in here, so you could waver a little bit, so just keep it tight to one side. And also have a vacuum cleaner. This stuff makes a mess on here, so have a vacuum cleaner going at the same time, pick up all the dust, and it kind of keeps the dust away from breathing it in as well, which is a good thing. So there's probably one major thing that I think that I didn't think was great, but it's not a make or break deal thing, is we have over here, when you have, say, a 2x6 wall as opposed to a 2x4 wall, which you're using quite a bit now, thicker wall, thicker insulation and so forth, the way that the panels are made at the factory, you can't change the offsets on there. They come in 12-inch increments and you can't change that. So with the 6-inch walls we have here, that first slot is quite close to the bottom plate here. Not normally a big deal, so you can still put the pipe in there. It's far enough away that it's not going to cause any problems, but when you get to an area where you have to start switching and getting into a different groove, it becomes harder to get the template and the router to fit in here. So I've actually had to use an oscillating tool and notch out the bottom plate, and I saved the piece again so I can repair it again, so that the router can actually fit in there to make those sharp turns that I need to make to get out of that little slot that's on the side here. Again, not a big deal, just a bit of extra work. And as you can see right here, there's some slots that we have to move around and change up here. I would say also make sure that when you're dealing with the rep and the home base there in California, that you go over the system really well, know where the runs are going, where they're ending up, and how they fit in the walls. I think you probably save you a bit of routering time at the end of the day. Make sure the layout's really done well. This is a complicated house, so it had a little more routering than I think normally it would be. And then again, kitchen cabinets and stuff, so you don't necessarily need them under the kitchen cabinets, which are on this side. So we've diverted that and just bend those two lines at that end and come right at the very foot of the cabinet there. So again, I think it's a great product still. I think I would still use it. That's not something that I would not want to use the product again. And I think after this, we're probably looking at, okay, installing the pipe. Be on the next segment and actually firing the system up and then see how quickly it heats up and cools down, which I found would be really interesting. So for now, see you later.